Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Lucy. I always say to stay subscribed. We have a good time on this channel. As you already seen by the title, today's video is going to be my updated bleach, pluck, style, tint, lace front wigs or lace closures. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. For the bleaching process, I'll be using the powder, the developer. I'm using the 6%, which is equivalent to the 30 volume developer. Hair I'm using in this video is from MSCOCO Hair. They sent me their 6x6 medium brown lace wig. It's a straight hair. I have it in the length 22 and also 180% density. The first thing I do is brush off the baby hairs from the lace. When it comes to mixing the bleach, I do this in sessions so I don't over mix, and also I'm able to control the consistency of this bleach because we want a consistency that is not too thick but also not runny at all. Something more or less like a pasty type of consistency. So what I do is I put the powder, I put a little bit of the purple conditioner, then I put the developer, I mix. If I see that the consistency is not what I'm looking for, then I add more developer. This way I'm able to control the consistency and I don't have it too runny. But if you have it too runny, actually you could just add more bleach powder and then it thickens up a bit. But then the best way to do it is not put all the products at once, just do it in sessions, like bit by bit, and you'd get the perfect consistency. The best way to check if you have the right consistency is if the mix is creamy, pasty, and when you flip the bowl over, it doesn't pour. So if it doesn't pour, but then it's also creamy and pasty when you mix it, then you know that you have the right consistency. But if you flip the bowl over and then it runs, then you should add more bleach powder. And the thing is, even if it runs a little bit, like even if it just drops down a little bit, add a little bit of powder so it doesn't move at all. You don't want that to move because most likely if it moves from the bowl, it will seep through the lace for sure. When it comes to applying the bleach onto the lace, you want to start from the back where the hair is dense and move your way to the top, because obviously where the hair is dense will take longer to bleach. So if you rather have that start processing than have the front over bleach, if that makes sense. And I also use a spoon for this process. I either actually use a spoon or a bread knife, and this is because the pressure on both a spoon and a bread knife is less than when you use any other thing, in my opinion. So I always use either a spoon or a bread knife. I think it's also because the surface of the spoon or the bread knife is kind of smooth, so you are able to manage the pressure that you are applying on the lace. And also you want to be really careful and light-handed during this process. Let this sit on the lace for about 50 minutes, sometimes slightly over, because I like to slightly over bleach my knot. I find it a lot more natural on my scalp. This is just a preference, but I would say to leave it normally for about 45 minutes if you're a beginner. I let this sit with the foil, and also the reason why I'm able to do this is because I'm using 30 volume developer. Typically people use about 40, and that's faster to process. I use 30 because I like the slow process but also controlled process. After this, I go ahead and wash the lace and the hair. I wash the lace obviously with the purple shampoo and definitely go in with conditioner and all that stuff, and then I proceed to tinting the lace. Tinting the lace is a very tricky process, so I'll try my best to explain it as best as I can. Now, I use hot water for this process, but the water isn't boiled. It isn't boiled, but it's hot enough to take on hair dye. I don't know how to explain this, but you have to make sure that the water is hot, but then not boiled, but really hot, okay? And then I'm also using hair dye. When it comes to using hair dye to tint lace, you have to be really careful first to picking out the shades. I'm using mahogany because obviously I'm a dark girl, but also when you're using mahogany, it could go from light to really dark. So you have to be really careful about that as well. I put about 3 tablespoons of dye into this hot water. Mix it well that all the particles disappear in the water. That's why it has to be really hot but not boiled. Now, this one is another tricky part because you have to gauge it according to your skin tone, like how bright or how dark you want the lace to be. I dip it in the first time for like about 1 minute or less than that actually, just to see how the lace is looking, and if I feel like I need to go in more, I dip it then bring it out, check it, dip it, bring it out. You don't want to leave it in for too long at the first try. It'll just kind of take on all the dye from the hot water, if that makes sense. I hope this makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it well, but just make sure that this process is thorough. If you're a beginner, I'll just advise you stop here. There's no need for you to take it, this step further, because obviously you're good, you could work with this lace. But for me, I take it a step further and actually tint the lace. Well, spray tint the lace. I made this DIY lace tint or lace spray tint, whatever, and I think it's a combination of mahogany and other brown shades from Adore dye brand, and I just literally sprayed the lace and let it dry, and this completely tints the lace forever, honestly. But I mean, if you guys want to see like an in-depth video of how I make this lace tint, just let me know in the comment section, and then I'll include it in my next hair video. But yeah, I just move on to like plucking the lace. Plucking the lace is quite easy. I mean, in my opinion, I usually start by obviously looking at the hairline, what I'm working with, kind of seeing what needs to be done. It depends on the wig and the kind of look I'm going for. Some wigs I barely pluck, some wigs I actually go in and pluck. For this hair, since it's a straight hair, I kind of go in and pluck a little more, because straight hair is supposed to be flat, right? Especially at the lace area. It kind of gives the straight hair like a slick look when the hair is plucked more, like really plucked. But if it's like a wavy hair, curly hair, I just don't pluck as much for those. And when it comes to plucking, I usually don't start from the hairline, although I go in and kind of make it jagged, because no one's hairline is, like that straight and neatly put together. So I start from behind the hair, cut it out, kind of just gently pluck the hair in lines and sections, as you can see. Obviously, I think this is self-explanatory. I don't really need to go in depth and explain, but yeah, I just lightly pluck the hair, comb it out just to see what I have. And then also, when you're plucking, I'd advise your other hand, the one that isn't with the tweezer, should kind of pull the hairline back so you see how it looks, because since it's on a mannequin head, you might not necessarily see how it looks flat. So if you pull it back, you see how it would look on your hair, if that makes sense. But anyway, I just lightly stroke, pluck, kind of comb out, and if I'm okay with that, go to the next line, pluck, and then when I'm done and I have achieved the desired look, I just kind of customize the actual hairline just for it to look natural, like lightly, just roughly go through it just to kind of make it look not together or not uniform. Before I install it, I usually just go over with a wax stick and then use a hot comb. Every girl needs a hot comb. If you're laying wigs, you need a hot comb. There's absolutely no way your hair is going to look slick and flat. You cannot install without a hot comb. So I would always advise everyone to have a hot comb. I usually go in, just kind of flatten the lace out, and also kind of see what I'm working with before I get on to installing. For installation, honestly, I don't do too much, and especially for closure wigs, I don't do too much, and I have installed a lot of hair on my channel, so this would not be like an in-depth install tutorial. I think I'm focusing more on like the bleaching and tinting and plucking in this video. Installation for this video is quite easy. I didn't use ghost bond as per usual. I'm using got to be spray because I just felt like I didn't need to do that intense hold, or I didn't need that intense hold for the wig. So I'm using got to be. I'm not going to walk you through the process. I'll just let you watch, because I feel like when it comes to installation, talking too much or explaining too much doesn't really do well for you to understand. So I'm just gonna let you watch. Little on the hair and my thoughts in general. This hair is amazing. It is slick. I have the hair currently right now on my head. I've had it for a couple days and I am in love. Oh my god, it is so good quality. The hair is amazing. It is soft, it is sleek. The lace is mind-blowing because it is not HD lace. It is just a regular medium brown lace, and this is melted. You guys can see in the video, it is melted to my scalp. It looks like scalp. Obviously we did some work on it, yeah, but I didn't expect the lace to be that thin, but it is thin, and it is 22 inches, but it's kind of giving me 26, to be honest. I love the hair so much. I'm going to have everything linked in description box below. Go ahead and check it out. I highly recommend, and it is quite affordable as well. I haven't really talked in depth about a hair before. I really love the hair when I'm talking this in depth about the hair. I really love it. I love this hair. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this video was helpful and quite informative or educative, or you learned how to kind of do your own hair at home through this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram, is linked in my description box as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye girlies.